Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. Today I will be showing you the deck list for the deck that I took to our League Cup, I believe. Yeah, so we went up to Missoula here in Montana, and we met up with the other local shop, and we decided we'd go to the Cup there. And we've been practicing for a month or two for this, so we were all pretty excited for it. I personally built this kind of rogue deck. Wasn't too extremely popular. I love building decks with my own ideas, so I'm going to go ahead and break it down, start with the Pokemon, items, supporters, and then energy. We don't run any stadiums, and you'll see why soon. First, we start with one of the key pieces, Zoroark, which obviously I'm sure you know what that means. We'll be running Zoroark. It's one of the key cards to this deck because it allows us to set up the other Pokemon extremely, I don't know if I should say easy, but it's definitely a lot quicker than to Ultra Ball into all these things. So, the next Pokemon we've got is a really fun one. We have a 3 of the Eevee, and the card that comes after it is pretty awesome. It's a 2 of Glaceon. Now everybody seems to love this card. Not really, that was sarcasm. Nobody's liked this card. I like this card, because that card is extremely good. But one of the main key pieces that makes this deck work so well is, of course, frogs. Oh yes, we play all the frogs. It's going to be 4 Froakie, 4 Frogadier, and we're going to kind of do a funky little split. We got 3 Greninja GX into 1 of the Shadow Stitching, and that'll just... Shadow Stitching actually saved my butt in the cup, because I had to lock a friend of mine out of his abilities, which saved me. But other than that, I love the Greninja. It's so much fun. And then the final Pokemon is something that's kind of common to have this large amount in of a Zoroark build, which is 3 Tapu Lele. That card just helps with consistency, getting the supporters we need at the time we need them. Makes the deck a lot better, runs smoother, I should say. There we go. So on to the items. The items are kind of standard, really. I'm only running a single of Enhanced Hammer. And then I've also got a 2 of Field Blower, because that card is extremely good as well. That helps against Garbodor, any like Buzzwole that's trying to produce the more damage with Choice Bands, whatnot, Parallel Cities. That card kind of shuts us down a little. I put a 1 of Choice Band in after testing with it, and that card's just proven very useful, especially when you set up your Glaceon, because it's only doing 90 damage. That makes it 120 and then 30 to a benched, which is pretty awesome. And of course, the 4 of standard card that you cannot have Ultra Ball. We run 4 of Ultra Ball. It's kind of a no-brainer in most decks at this point. We've also, for the final set of items, we run a 4 of Puzzle of Time. Once again, it's kind of just standard with Zoroark. If you've got a Zoroark in your deck, you're running Puzzle of Time. Now, supporters is pretty much close to what you'd see in the Zoroark deck as well. We're running 3 of Bridget for that consistency to get the frogs and the Eevee out. Now, the draw supporters I was kind of goofing around with, testing it out, and I found that you don't really want a ton of the discard your hand ones, because that is not what you want. You want to actually maintain most of your resources, especially in a deck where you're trying to do a few different things at once. So we've only got 2 Professor Sycamores, and then the rest is 3 Cynthias, because you don't really want to help your opponents out, because most of the time, if they pull ahead, they're just going to pull ahead. There's not much we can do about that one. But if they pull ahead, there's just not much we can do about that, because we can't end them like down to 2 cards or whatnot. But if they fall behind and we get ahead and we've got like 2 prizes left, but we need a certain card, we don't want to be ending ourselves to 2 either. So getting that 6 back right off the bat is pretty nice. And if they have a bad hand, which you can totally tell, you can just Cynthia and then leave them with it. And then they'll totally have a great time with that. So, for the final supporters, I have a 1 of Mallow. I found that to be, once again, very good in a Zoroark build. Only 1 of, because honestly, most of the time with the way the deck runs, as long as you're not going up against a fighting deck, you can normally play Zoroark. And if that's the case, that's pretty good. But you don't really need more than 1. The last of the supporters is 3 Guzma. This card has saved me so many times. It's just such a great card. You're able to pull out cards that your opponents are trying to keep protected. It's just great, and especially with Puzzle of Time allows us to get those back. So if, say, we discard a few of them early in the game, double puzzle, get them back. The energy base is actually extremely easy. It's 4 double colorless. Let me slide this back a little. 4 double colorless and 6, I believe, water energy. And that's it. It's 10 energy in total. You want a little bit higher on the water energy just because most every Pokemon takes the water energy, like Glaceon's 1 water. Greninja's a single water as well. But the thing is the DC benefits absolutely every single Pokemon in the deck because Glaceon can take it, Greninja can take it, and Zoroark can take it. But the water energy is also crucial because, let's see, you have 3 lines of Pokemon, and 2 out of the 3 take water energy, so we kind of have to have that. Plus, if you're able to start with the turn 1 EV water energy into Glaceon, you're immediately locking EX and GX, so no Lele for them. That'll also give you a chance to set up while they're sitting there going, well, I'm stuck. But that is essentially the deck. I actually took 2nd place with this at the Cup. I was very proud. It was a really, really fun to play deck. Alright, so pretty much in closing, the deck, in case you might not have noticed or don't know what the 2 main Pokemon do, these are the 2 main Pokemon, which is the Greninja and Glaceon. Normally, you want the Glaceon out front because its ability, like I was explaining earlier, locks down all EX and GX of your opponent. And then Greninja comes in, and as it evolves from Frogadier, you can put 2 damage counters on a Pokemon, and then when it goes into this Greninja, you may put 3 damage counters. So in total, just simply evolving the Pokemon, you get free 50 damage where you want. And then his attack is 110. You could shuffle him back into the deck, which is pretty decent. But the main thing I want to talk about real quick are the 2 GXs. These things are extremely good together. Because Glaceon, you can start hitting for 90 and putting 30 on the bench. And if you see something in the back that they're trying to protect, you don't have a Guzma, but you still have your GX, you whip out the Shadowy Hunter, which does 130 to a benched Pokemon. Which that is usually with a couple turns of Freezing Gaze or even evolving in with the Shuriken Flurry. You can usually punch whatever you want and get it. Now this is really good if someone's playing Buzzwole. They just threw a Buzzwole in your face and you're sitting there with not too much left. You evolve a few Frogadiers, maybe a Greninja or 2, and then you can whip out Polar Spear, which does 50 times each damage counter on your opponent's active, which is just extremely overpowered. It saved me multiple times. But these 2 cards work really well together. People have actually asked me why I run Zoroark. I should just do Glaceon Greninja. I actually only run Zoroark as a main draw mechanic because I'm not running a ton of draw supporters. And plus, just in a pinch, he's a really good attacker. So, all in all, it's a very good deck. Like I said, I took 2nd. So, other than that, there's not much to say about it. The point of the deck is to spread some damage and take knockouts where you can. But other than that, that will be my deck for today. And thank you guys so much for watching.